recording. That means we officially begin. Okay. Welcome to our Zoom. I had to move it from yesterday. HCTV came out. And one thing that dawned on me, since usually we do these on Fridays, and we moved it to today because of Election Day and some things we wanted to cover, football game and the mock election and so forth. And I had students who come on Monday and Tuesday saying, oh, is this your first HCTV this year? They didn't realize we've done like 6 of them. Okay, we have a YouTube channel, Harper Creek High School HCTV, and we, been putting them out for a while. And we covered all of our fall sports at least once, the varsity sports and other topics. So you should be watching them. So this time I sent an email out to everybody. All the students got an email with our HCTV link. So, and I've been just occasionally putting it up on Google Classroom too. So if you haven't watched, please do watch. Go back, watch some of the other ones, and you can know more what's going on and see things and that. So I got a question here from Zach. How do you join HCTV? Good question. In the past, most students involved took my digital video production class first. And this class, computer literacy, is a prerequisite to that. But because of various things like the pandemic and some other things that have come up, it's not always possible for someone to take the digital video class first, but they might still be interested in video and or HCTV or both, So good question. How do you get involved? If you basically just contact me. Now, where do we go from there? We can go a couple directions. I might have you first start just working on your own skills with whatever you got. Maybe you come in here, or if you already go here, if you're in the hybrid classes, you come meet with me. Maybe after we talk in class briefly, then we come meet me after school. Then we can do one of two things. Maybe you just want to work on skills for a while. You want to work on your videography, video editing before you start actually making segments or getting involved more. That's okay, and I'd be glad to work with you on that and see what we can do based on your schedule and what equipment we have, what equipment you might have, and get you involved in video. If you, obviously the more you can come in or get involved, for example, say you want to do you want to be part of, say, shooting a volleyball segment. Okay, you might join me at a volleyball game where you'd be on one camera, I'd be on another one. I may loan you a camera, give you a little bit of basic training and guidelines, and let you just go videotape that volleyball game. Then what do you do after? You went to a volleyball game, you shot video, now what? Well, then we're in touch about we need to make a segment for HCTV, for example. And what do we need for that segment? Do we need to interview somebody? Do we need to get, edit the video, obviously? And to what extent do you want to do that? To what extent do you just want to shoot it and give it to me and let me worry about the rest? So I have students who do all the above. I have students that just do certain things, like go shoot some video and that's it. They don't edit it or anything. I have students that want to do as much as they can. And there are other things here. We have equipment and stuff I can tell you more, personally to learn about. We have to learn about videography, about lighting, about editing. And HCTV is not just about the video news. We have a YouTube channel. I'm open to other types of projects, and I was going to share this with you guys anyway. Sorry about that little noise sometime I make here. Not sure what it's maybe sitting a little different or something today. But I normally don't do that, but I want people who are interested in video or audio to be in touch with me, either in person or email or texting, and just take it from there. We can start talking about what you can do to start getting involved. And yes, the more people involved, the better. I want to get into some other types of programs, some other types of video projects. We do graduation videos, senior slideshow, highlights from sports and other things. So that's a question we had about HCTV. So do contact me for more information. And I am open to working with just about anybody that's reliable and willing to learn skills and make some quality video. Okay, back to our regular stuff here. Those of us that joined us after I started, I got a little different setup here in the studio, trying to make it a little more professional. Got a microphone set up here and so forth. Okay, I'm going to talk about what's going on right now in class. And I realize I have both hybrid and virtual students here. Okay, so here is our Google Classroom, and I moved we had a lot going on yesterday, so I moved the Zoom to today. We'll do another one on Thursday. And in class, those are in the hybrid here. If you're in the Thursday, Friday hybrid, this is mainly for you. We're going to be doing this personal PowerPoint in class. So this is our big project for the week. It's our second PowerPoint. It's a very different type of a PowerPoint project. It's very creative. It's not like a business presentation. It's about yourself. So hopefully it's a fun assignment. So I'm just going to go over this here briefly. First of all, if you scroll through there, we have a PDF of the directions. We have another PDF of a sample PowerPoint. Now, that's not literally a PowerPoint because it's a PDF. So it's like a document showing what the slides look like. Then we have what's called a PowerPoint show of the same presentation, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Let me start with the expectations, and then I'll tell you what the rest of this is. Okay, this is from the PDF. Now, this is from a PDF of a sample PowerPoint. So you have a title slide, your name, all about myself, whatever, maybe find a couple pictures. You can use personal pictures. You can use just pictures from the web if you want. It's meant to be a fun, light assignment, nothing, hopefully fun and creative about yourself. And you can keep it for yourself too, and show your family, maybe your kids someday, who knows. So each slide should be unique and different. You can use a picture for a background like this student did. You can put a solid color. Now, you may have a theme. You might start with a blank one. Either one's okay because you're going to cover up the background either way. And and if you're in the hybrid classes, we covered in class how to do a custom background. And you can do a solid color, you can do a texture, you can do a gradient, you can do a pattern, or in this case, a photo. If you don't know how to do a custom background because you're at the virtual class or you weren't in class, there are tutorials I shared about how to do that. I'll talk about that more in a little bit. Now, this particular student used a lot of picture backgrounds. In other words, she put a picture in the background and then built her rest of the slide around that. So she put other pictures in front. She got the standard, bulleted list of whatever the topic is for that slide. And a word art. I want all the titles made into word arts. It's not hard to do, and that looks nice. Now you can change the colors and edit them and have some fun with it. Pictures. If you got real pictures in some cases of your own, that's great. If you don't, you can use pictures from the web. Now, let's say you made a slide and you wanted a picture of your dog and you didn't have one handy. Maybe you find a picture on the web of a dog that looks like your dog, and that would be fine, okay? Now, in some cases, like if you're doing favorite movies in this case, some of the pictures you find might have the names of the movies in them. It's still probably a good idea to keep your list there somewhere and make sure text is easy to read and colors that go well together. So that she did white text here over this background. That seems to work pretty good. And the other colors here are pretty easy to read in that. So basically, you go through your PowerPoint first, get all your basic stuff down, like what's the topic for each one, my favorite TV shows, my favorite movies, things like that, and get in your topic. Maybe just put the text here for now and make the word art later. You can worry about the custom background later. You can do that, you can do that right away if you want. You can do it later. And then for your pictures, to go fast, because you probably don't want to, spend forever on this, you might want to just make a folder on your desktop or wherever you're comfortable saving things, and then just start searching. If you're doing favorite TV shows, look for some photo or image from that TV show. If you're doing movies, you're doing whatever the topic may be, start downloading pictures from the web. Most of the pictures you get will be JPEGs or PNGs, PNG, and they should work just fine. Occasionally you get these weird ones. One's called like WebG or something, I can't remember, but it doesn't work. So if you get those, just move on, find another picture. You can do Google searches, click image, Then click on the image, do a right click, do a save image as. I always give them a meaningful name, so I know what it is. A lot of times the names on images are numbers and nonsensical things like that. So then once you have your picture, you can literally just drag them on here or insert them through the picture insert and resize them. So you're going to do your basic slide with your images on it, your text. You may as well do the background at the same time. And then make your main title into a word art. Then after you do that and you got your layouts, here's one she did on favorite books and magazines. Then you're going to animate it. Now you can't see an animation in a PDF file. So this file is not to see the animation. This file is just to see what layouts look like and get some ideas. But then we're going to, you look through this here. So you get some idea on this here. Okay, what else did I share here? This PowerPoint show. I don't know if this will work, but let me give this a try. What is a PowerPoint show? A PowerPoint show is an option that when you make a PowerPoint, you can do a save as or export. Save it as a PPS file, not a PPT file, and it will show your PowerPoint. In other words, you can share it with somebody, they can click it, they can watch it, and it will, all your animations will work, transitions will work, and they can't edit it, okay? Now, I don't know if I can get this here to work in here. Let me see if this will work. Here, Zoho show. I don't know. Let me try this. We'll see if it works. It may or may not. Oh, it's trying to continue. Choose an account. Wants to access your account. I'll click allow. We'll see what happens. Choose an account. There's there. Okay, it's got my picture. I agree. I thought this would just start playing it, but it made me go through a few steps here. No, it's changing it to something called the Zoho format. Okay, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but let me tell you what you can do. You can go in this yourself. What I usually do is then click to make a new window, and then you get a download button. There's up here, it's click the little three dots here, open in a new window, and then that brings up the download button. Okay, then you download this, double click it, it should play. You can see all the cool animations. You can see all the transitions, which are real easy to put in between your slides. Now that brings us to a few things. The people at home are saying, Mr. Rio, we weren't in your class. We didn't learn how to do all that stuff like the people at class did. Okay, I'm going to show you what you can do then. First of all, you're always welcome to look up your own tutorials and your own how-tos. There's tons of them out there. But I did a few things. I opened this here, is animating text and objects in PowerPoint. I'm not going to actually play it, but that is there. 5 minutes, it goes over the basics of animating. This one here does themes and backgrounds. The themes you don't have to worry too much about because we're going to cover it up, but it goes over the backgrounds. Really easy to do. That is a 4-minute video. Now, I might say, what's this here, Mr. Rio? Beginner's Guide to PowerPoint. Didn't we learn the basics on the last one? Yes, we did. But this looks like a nice video for those a little rusty on their PowerPoint knowledge. So maybe you got 23 minutes, you can review it, and it might help you understand PowerPoint better. Because the better you understand it, the easier all these projects are. So you'll make a new PowerPoint, you'll save it, give it a name, maybe your last name.ppt. You can pick a blank one or pick a theme, doesn't matter. You're going to cover it all up anyway. And then you're going to go through and make these slides. Your first slide is a title slide. So you just put in like all about me and then your name and the life of in your name or something like that. And make sure your name's in there. Have some fun with that. The end slide, the last one, you just put the end if you want to stick in some photo or graphics, or even find a photo or graphic that says the end. I'm not overly picky on the first and the last slide as far as other pictures and things go. Now, the ones in between, 2 through 13, which adds up to, let's see, there's 14 slides total, so 12 slides they got to worry about. The first one, number 2, I say the first one, not counting the title, is that's general background information, where you're born, family, places you lived, and so forth. Now, before we proceed, any of these topics that I put on this list can be substituted. What does that mean? That means if you have a reason that you'd rather do a different topic, you can just shoot me a text or an email, say, Mr. Rio, can I swap one out? The reason I mention that with the personal background is from my experience dealing with literally hundreds of students. Most students got a fairly decent, maybe not perfect, but fairly normal family. So they don't mind mentioning their family or where they're born or whatever. I have had some students that had very complicated, often not very happy family background stories, whatever they may be, and have asked Mr. Rio, is it okay I don't mention my family background or whatever, personal, something like that? And by all means, no, you do not have to share that. Okay. You get something you're uncomfortable with or that's not at all what this project is about. It's not meant to make anyone feel uncomfortable. So if you would rather do another slide about something else about you, that's fine. That's no problem whatsoever. Slides 3 and 4, that's hobbies and interests. So let's say, for example, you like skateboarding. There's a slide. Just make a slide. And if you don't have pictures of yourself skateboarding, just find some pictures of people skateboarding. Maybe you have another interest of hunting and you want to hunt. Now, I've had students ask me in the past, Mr. Rio, if I hunt, can I put a picture of me with a gun or me and my dad with a gun or something? Sure. If that's part of your hunting, I have no problem with that. Or if you target shoot or you're in the clay target team, no problem. I've had students, if it comes up in any of these topics, say I'm involved in a religious youth group or something like that. Could I mention that in one of my slides? And I say, sure. If that's part of you and what you do and that, go ahead and include that. Just to clarify some things people have asked about. You may be interested in video games. You might be interested in volleyball. You might be interested in dance. You might play the guitar. Anything like that could make a great slide. Okay. And you might say, Mr. Rio, I got more than 2. Yeah. If you want to put more than 2 on 2 slides or substitute some other slide for another one, that's okay. Slides 5, 6, 7, and 8. One is 5 favorite movies. Don't agonize too much on it. Just find 5 movies you like. Look for some cool pictures or that to put on. Another one's TV. Now, I say TV, that's kind of old school. I know a lot of people watch shows on streaming like Netflix and that. So whether it's traditional television or cable or streaming or whatever, you got some favorite shows. 7, I kind of combined in there games, books, magazines, and a lot of magazines nowadays are literally online. So if you got some games, books, or magazines, that's a good one. I've had students ask me, could they do comic books? I say, sure. And if they don't really do any of those 3, then I just say, well, do your favorite restaurants or food or something like that in place of it. 8 would be music. It'd be like singers, groups, and things that you like. That should be easy for most people. Find some pictures and stuff. 9, favorite classes or school subjects. Some people do specific classes. Some people do more of a subject area, like I like math, I like science. Some people do specific, like I like yearbook or I like computer literacy or something. Number 10 and 11. Now, this could be places you visited, places you'd like to visit, or one of each. So I have some students who've done some traveling, and they might want to put one or both for places they've actually been. They could use their own pictures or look up some pictures. And that could be a place in Michigan. It could be another state. It could be a famous location, a city, a country, a place like Grand Canyon, whatever. Now, some of you, maybe you would rather do places you would like to visit. Maybe you've not been there yet for one or both of them. So say you want to go to Hawaii, make a slide about Hawaii. Say, I hope to visit Hawaii someday. Maybe you want to go to Paris. So you make one that says Paris and you have some cool pictures of Paris. And you say, I would like to visit Paris someday. Or maybe you've been to Paris and you want to make a Paris one. Either one would be okay. Camping in the UP would be fine for a slide or something like that. People, it doesn't have to be far away or fancy. It could be things that we do. Going to Cedar Point would be a good one. You know, a lot of people do that. 12, any employment or personal goals after high school. So maybe you put in college or work or tech school or military or whatever it may be, some things that you want to pursue after high school. It could be a general thing, a specific thing, just, you know, what some of your future goals. 13, cover something about yourself not already covered. So if there's another hobby, interest, unusual fact, brush with greatness. That'd be like, have you ever met someone famous? Favorite classes, your pets, if you haven't covered that and you want to talk about your pets, you know, something like that. And put at the end. And if you got time to make it fancy, great. If not, at least get one on there. Then once you get all your pictures on there and your topics, your text and that, you do a custom background on every single one. You animate them. So the animation is how you know they come out. You know, we're not doing exit animations. Don't worry about that. Just the ones where they appear and that's it. So you can click one of the appearing animations, have it appear, and that's fine. Now, when you set your animations, set them. I'm not going to do an animation tutorial right here, but they have an option where you can have it after previous. The other option is the default is on click. So when you have a slide appear, you don't want to have to hit click for every single thing to pop out. So, you know, set it for after or with previous, not on click. You'll find that in the animation settings. The animation settings, once you get used to it, are actually very, very simple. You know, like I said, almost all these skills I cover, they not only do in middle schools, they do them sometime in elementary schools. So if you don't know how to do something, either click around to figure it out. You can Google it. You can go to the help in PowerPoint. You know, so you should be able to do that. You can always contact me too if you got a problem. Now, for those in class, if you're a hybrid student and you're going to be here Thursday and Friday, just wait till Thursday. We're going to be doing this in class. If you need some review on backgrounds or animations, we'll do that. And you'll be working on it both Thursday and Friday in class. The Monday, Tuesday group worked on it today. Now, some of you might say, Mr. Rio, didn't you move, at least for the hybrid classes, some of the due dates on this? And yes, I did, because we're going to be doing some presentations next week in class. This will be the hybrid classes. And so we have a little extra time so we can prepare them for presentation. I was trying to think of how I could have the virtual students only do a presentation. That's kind of hard. I thought maybe Zoom, but I'm not sure about that yet. So we may not do the extension in the same way that the hybrid classes are doing it, because there's not really a good way to do a class presentation. So we'll probably do some other things instead. So that's our big project of the week. Those at home, you got these little mini tutorials to help you. You can look up anything you want. There's a million tutorials out there showing you how to do animation, how to do custom backgrounds, how to do word art if you forgot how to do that. And I put in another review in here if you feel a little weak in PowerPoint. Okay. So hopefully you'll be able to figure it out and get it working good and have some fun with this. This is meant to be a fun and creative project and something you may want to keep. You know, it's about yourself. You can show it to your friends and family, maybe even someday your kids or something, who knows. So I have directions here, which are largely on the PDF. I have some tutorials to help you out, and you can always contact me for questions. Now, the rest of the week, there's not much here. There's a review of OneDrive. I have a lot of students still struggling with OneDrive and saving and their files and everything. So I found a good video. And you have to say, Mr. Rio, when you find a 15-minute video, does it take you like a minute to find it? No, like an hour and a half, because I go through like 20 of them before I pick one for you guys. So I got a little assignment to go with it. Even if you're already comfortable with OneDrive, it won't kill you to do it. And a lot of people still are trying to figure out, you know, how to use OneDrive better. So that's a fairly easy assignment. Then the other one that's quite easy to go with our Microsoft PowerPoint is simply a video, I think a nice video. Again, I looked at a bunch of them before I picked this one. and it's 15 Microsoft PowerPoint tips and tricks. You don't have to actually do them. All you have to do is open up a Google Doc, list them, write down what they are, and then put a little opinion on there about which ones you like or find the most interesting. So that's fairly easy assignment. You get to see some cool stuff. The guy does a great job going through there showing you some tips and tricks. So it's a pretty easy week. I mean, the main assignment that's most of the work, I think, is a fun assignment, in my opinion. I got my new setup here, got the lighting in that. This lighting isn't ideal. It's kind of overkill in the studio. I'm in the studio here at school, but I'm trying some new things, and we're going to try to keep improving things. And I'm going to go ahead and close out my share here. And if there are any questions, go ahead and either put them in the chat or unmute yourself and ask them. If I don't hear questions, then I encourage you to have fun with this. Be creative. Online students, you might have to look up a few things, and if what I shared with you isn't good enough to help, but the animation I'm asking you to do is the most simple type of animation. You just enter it, put it in order, take off the on click, real easy to do. There are a lot more details if you want to learn more about the animation. For example, you might click one that flies in, and the default is flying from the left. Okay, great. If you're happy with that, just leave it. But then you might look through there'll be a little thing over on the side where you got other options. You can have it fly from the top or from the bottom or from the right, and you can try some of that out too. So have fun, do a good job. The online class will be a little different on this assignment than the other classes, but most of it will be about the same. So unless there's any further questions, we are finished. And everyone have a great day. And it's election day. It's historic. So, follow that and see what's going on. Okay, contact anytime. And I'm going to end this Zoom then. And Zach, contact me privately one way or another, and we can talk more about HCTV. Or if you want to pop in, talk to me tomorrow, I'll be here all day. Take care. Bye.